What's going on, you guys? What's going on? This is Vibey Talks with Javon. I'm your host, Javon, and I have a special guest here right now tonight. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're making it work. We're making it work. Put your hands together for my friend. She is an amazing person. She's going to tell y'all about herself real quick. This is Monica.
Hey, everybody. Again, this is Monica. I'm a good friend of Javon's. We got years under the belt.
I tell you. Yeah, I tell you. So, unfortunately, because of that situation with my phone heating up, I couldn't keep what I had. So we're just going to go real brief with it. So tell me, when it comes to friendships, right, you notice that we are in this time where it's so much division and just you have to be this way or that way. You can't really have a middle ground. But when it comes to racism and homophobia and transphobia, what's your views on it? What do you feel about that? What's your thoughts?
Well, my thought about it is, like, yes, you can have friends with different diverse backgrounds and views and everything, but when it comes to things that literally directly affect you, I don't think there's any middle ground for it.
For sure.
Being a black person, and you have your things about racism where you say, but there's no, we can't do it, because my friends to me are people who wholly support me and uplift me and want to see me succeed in life, as do I them.
Right.
So if we disagree on racism, there's nothing for us to talk about, because you're literally disagreeing about an aspect that is really physically and personally me.
Right.
Like, I am affected by. So there's nothing for us to disagree on. The same about the, LGBT community or homophobia or trans people. I have people in my life that are very dear and near to me that I will love and I will go to war with, and there's not a disagreement about that. It's simply, you don't support it, then there's nothing we can feed into each other, because I don't want that energy in my life, and that's just that.
Absolutely. I think it was a time when they had the whole George Floyd, Breonna Taylor situation where everything went all magnified, right? Where like there was demonstrations, it was just major. The world was watching, exactly. And there was this friend of ours that we're no longer friends, and I don't think you liked her anyway, right?
No.
You cut her off mad quick. But we used to sing together. I'm not gonna say no names. I'm just gonna say. And we used to do karaoke and all that together. That was how we met. And unfortunately, she didn't really have a say or like wording or anything to like have just to bring solidarity or support. I was taken back because I was raised around all different types of people.
Yeah.
My mother raised me in a way where it was like living in New York City. A melting pot of people. Kalamazoo was probably the most diverse small town you would ever live in my personal opinion.
I agree.
She was like, I was asking her a question. I was like, all this stuff going on, you're not supporting. Like, where's your message? Why are you not supporting people? Where's your voice? And she was like, I don't want to support because I don't want to be in no arguments with people. And just to let you know, people with mental health and that have retardation that's important too. They're not getting funding, so we should do that. I'm thinking like, I get that. I have a couple friends that actually have mental illness, a couple of retardations, but at the same token, like I was talking about this, and you kind of swept what I'm feeling under the rug because you want to self-preservate on your views, thinking that what I'm thinking is not validated. I felt some type of way about that, and I had to cut her off because of it. Because usually I don't. Usually I'm around all different types of viewpoints, and I'm cool with everyone. I try to be anyway. But when it comes to racism and homophobia and sexism,
I reach out to you as my friend, and I'm like, hey, where's your ally voice? And you tell me, I don't want to start problems, and there's bigger problems. That tells me you're not supportive of me.
Right.
And bringing up those other problems, which are very, very important, is still a way of like kind of pandering or like putting the issue that directly affects me under the boat, and it's not fair. Like, I'm reaching out to you as a friend, and you can't even speak up and support because you don't want to offend your racist friends, or you don't want to argue and support in what's right. That's not okay. I don't have the liberty of saying, I don't want to talk about it. Like, it's in my face. It directs me effectively. Whatever the word is, but you know what I'm saying.
I feel you.
Their
It
I
does.
don't get the choice to be like, oh, well, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like, ma'am, excuse me?
For sure, for sure. And and it's like I even think about it too, like I can go in the whole deep front too. Like sometimes I feel like even in our own communities we're not being allies to each other and supporting each other like we should. Like I know a friend that actually has her own business. Shout outs to Salima. I'm thinking like I'm thinking we need to do more we need to support each other in our businesses and our endeavors. And I feel like sometimes when it comes even with black men, we're not able to support each other like we should. There's so much ego and egotistical mentalities and stuff like that. That separatism that I would say Willie Lynch has implanted in us. But we have to take accountability that we have to do better in our own communities.
Amongst each other.
Yeah. I mean, after hearing all this stuff with like gunshots in Chicago and then Philly and Bmore and several other places, I'm thinking like, bro, like y'all, we need to show the world and be an example. It's not about just walking and demonstrating to affirm BLM, right? We have to be about it too. It's not just and I'm thinking to myself, why are we so caught on picking and choosing one massa after another massa to lead? Like, have we looked at their track record? So
I agree wholeheartedly. And just even within the building ourselves in our community, it means we need to put more into it, because at the end of the day, our community is not going to be perfect. We're not going to have instances where it's just all peace and holding hands. People are individuals and they choose to do things on their own individual level, but we do need to stand in solidarity and really work to uplift each other.
Absolutely.
And it starts with us, and it starts with our children, and it starts with our community. Because yes, we have been systematically put in places and set up to be a certain thing, but we have to be conscious enough to want more for ourselves.
Yes.
And like you said, we can't be looking at the master for a